Hey guys, it's Clayton. Today my whole video is going to be all over dreads and dread lovers and dreadlocks and natural hair enthusiasts and all of those good things. Anyone who's thinking about growing dreads, basically. So I'm going to give you guys 5 tips over how to grow long, strong, natural, thick hair, um, like mine. And first I'm going to give you guys a little background information, a little background knowledge over my hair. So I've been growing my hair for going on about 5.5 years right now. I started growing my hair when I was a freshman in high school, and now I'm a sophomore in college. So it's been about 5 years, um, give or take. So yeah, and I have dyed my hair before. I have dyed my hair, but it didn't break off too many times. I've dyed it a couple of times actually. And although I've never measured my hair. That's pretty much how long it is, and it's curled up, so it actually comes a little long. It's really like this, but it's curled up and all of those good things. So, um, yeah. So tip number one is going to be always, always, always let your hair breathe. A lot of people, especially when you first start to grow your hair, you feel like, okay, I don't want to go through the ugly stage. I hate having new growth an inch or even a centimeter long on my head because then it makes it look like I have an afro and dreads. But at the end of the day, the most important thing that you should do for your dreads is always let them breathe. Don't twist your hair too often because the more often you twist your hair, you're going to end up like this. So if I could get that picture in, it's a picture of Lil Wayne, and it's a picture of basically how if you twist your hair too often, you're putting stress on your scalp, and you're showing your hair that you only want it to grow right there. If you allow your hair to breathe, you allow it to get to get thick and full before you retwist it, as opposed to retwisting it and retwisting it and retwisting it into that same part. And eventually, if I continue to twist this and continue to twist this like this, if you guys can see, it'll start to grow apart. And I don't want that because I don't want eventually to have a big, thick, inch long, inch wide gap. So if you allow your hair to breathe, don't twist your hair too often. Me personally, I started off twisting my hair every month. That's when my hair was shorter, and that's because I didn't want to go too long without it being retwisted. But the more I've had dreads, I've learned that just let it breathe. Go through the ugly stage. Now, especially when my hair is longer, I don't mind going months without retwisting because at the end of the day, you can already see that I'm growing dreads. So if I do have an inch long of new growth, it's just kind of like, okay, well, he just haven't had his hair retwisted. Another thing that I'll do, and I suggest, is if you do retwist your hair really often and really often and really often, go for a long, like if you want to say, what I did basically is during school, the whole school year when I was in high school, I would always retwist my hair every month, every month, every month. So it never really had time to breathe. But always, always, always in the summer for those 2 or 3 months, however long the summer is, I would not twist my hair for the entire summer. And that allowed my hair to breathe for 2 whole months. And I think that really enabled my hair to grow faster because in the summer, I will say my hair grew like that. Like I would come back from school and my hair would be a whole 2 or 3 inches longer. So, yeah, tip number one is always to let your hair breathe. Tip number two is not to bleach your hair. I know when you get dreads and you want to go for this eccentric look and you want to make your hair look a little unique, so you don't want to keep your natural hair color, but don't dye your hair. Try to wait at least as long as possible before you do dye your hair. And I'll upload a video later on how to dye your hair if you want to dye your hair. Like I said, I've dyed my hair a lot of times, and I mean, I guess I can't say that it's going to just kill your hair so bad because clearly mine is still here, but my hair did go through a number of damage, and you can't really see it now because I haven't dyed my hair in a long time. But I just say don't dye your hair because if you do dye your hair, it's gonna kill your hair. It's really gonna kill your hair, and it's going to get to the point where it might not fall out, but it'll get to the point to where you could just do this, and you didn't hear it. I know you guys didn't hear it, but you could just do this, and like I just heard my hair tear. And it's basically because the ends of these are really thin because I used to dye my hair and it was the ends. So just don't dye your hair. It's going to get your hair really thin. It's going to get your hair brittle. And that's not the look that you're going for, especially if you want to have thick, long, dreads. Also, your hair is going to dye basically on its own. For instance, if I hadn't have dyed my hair would have still been a little darker than this. It would have probably been like, because the top is my natural hair color, but the bottom isn't, and it would have still been lighter. The longer you have your dreads, the more the ends are going to die, because you're constantly exposed to the sun, you're constantly washing them and all of those different things. And being that your hair is in dreads, it's matted up, so it's not really getting the nutrients that it should. And so the longer you have your hair is going to eventually fade and come into like an ombre color anyway. So don't dye it. Just give your hair time and allow your hair to, dye off its color on its own, because dyeing your hair is definitely not the way to go. If you just really want to dye your hair, I'm going to upload a video later on the proper way to dye your hair, because a lot of people don't dye their hair properly and it causes even more damage than the dye. But yeah, that's number 2. Don't dye your hair. Number 3 is going to be continuously moisturize your hair. You have dreads, and if you have dreads, if you're African American and you have dreads, your hair is going to get dry fast. Your hair needs moisture. And one of the things that I do for my hair is, especially now that it's long. Now, this isn't a tip for people with shorter hair, because the more you wet your hair, it's going to unravel the twist at the top. So don't mess up your hair by doing that. But if you have long hair like this, I just have a spray bottle full of water. Just spray your end. Just spray your hair with water. Moisturizing your hair, the biggest moisture that you could think of would be water. So just simply spray water all over your hair at the bottom. You don't have to get it to where it's dripping, but just keep it moist to keep it not from being dry and brittle. You want to just spray it on the ends, not necessarily the top, like I said, because you don't want to unravel the twist. But continuously, like every night, every morning, not every night and every morning, but I would say every morning, just spray your hair, the ends, with water. And then like get a moisturizer, not any type of moisturizer, but just get a moisturizer and put it on your ends of your hair, just to continuously lock in that water that you're spraying onto your hair. For people with shorter hair that don't want to spray their hair, what I would do is just take a shower without a shower cap, and then not necessarily put your head under the water, but all of the splashes from your body are going to get on your hair, and that's enough moisture for your hair also if your hair is shorter. Now, if you just have like inch dreads, then you don't really need to moisturize them. They're still growing. Yeah. But if your hair, is here, just kind of take a shower without putting a head wrap on, and that should give your hair the moisture that it needs. And also, like I said, continuously put oils and different moisturizing products into your hair. Not any kind, but just, read the label and all of those things. Again, I'll do a video over, the type of moisturizers and different things that I use later. But yeah, just keep moisture in your hair, because you don't want your hair to get dry. You don't want your hair to get brittle. And yeah. So that's actually 2. I can't remember what number I'm on. I think I'm on 3. I think I'm on 3, but that's basically 2. Just water and moisturize your hair all the time. Another tip would be to tie your hair up. Make sure when you go to sleep, you tie your hair up, because your hair is, at this type of texture. When you go to sleep, you're going to, if you're not sleeping on like a silk pillow, your hair is going to get like all in the cotton. I don't know if you guys have ever seen people's dreads that have like cotton balls, some like in them somewhere, like stuff like that. Stuff like that is going to come because you don't tie your hair up. Tying your hair up is going to keep your hair protected. You don't want your hair rubbing all over the pillows and stuff like that, because that creates friction, and also that can break off your hair. That continuously makes your hair break off. So the friction from laying on your pillows, or the friction from laying on like a suede couch or something like that, or the ground. I don't know if you sleep on the ground. I don't know. But yeah, you don't wanna just like put your hair on any texture. So continuously wrap your hair up. What I do to wrap my hair up is I'll just put my hair up, all of my hair up, like right up here, and I can do that because my hair is a little longer. I'll just put all of my hair up here and wrap a scarf around the perimeter of my head, so that when I do lay down, if it's on the back or if it's on the side, or just so I don't get the top messed up, it'll always be protected. And then like the top doesn't necessarily touch the pillow, because I don't just lay on the top of my head. But another video, I guess I'll do that too, just how I wrap my hair before I go to sleep. Another tip, because I think that is 5, but I'm going to give one extra, and that would be to not, a lot of people, no, I'm going to get closer. A lot of people, I don't know if you can see, but like, it's a dread, and then there's like extra hair that grows around your dread, basically. Because your dread isn't just strict dread. It's going to be like little hairs that come off too. A lot of people go through and trim those up because they feel as if it makes your hair look better. That's not going to make it makes your hair look better, definitely, because like your dreads are just really clean and neat. However, that's going to make your hair thinner. It's not gonna allow your hair to be as thin as it should be, because when you do lay down and all of those things, it's gonna. This is basically just a tangle, and those hairs that are like sticking out are just haven't become tangled yet. So the more you live with your hair, it will eventually become tangled. And like basically at the ends of my dreads, I don't have those extra hairs anymore, because I've had these dreads, this part of the dread, for 5 years now. So don't go up and trim around your dreads, because that's gonna make your hair thinner, and you're not gonna be able to have thick dreads. Having thin dreads are going to eventually, they're just gonna break off. They break off really fast. The back of my dreads are really thin, and basically like this. You can see how it just gets so thin right here. And eventually it's gonna get to the point to where it can break off. So you don't want just really, really thin dreads. If that's the look you're going for, then by all means, cut around your dreads. But if you want thick, long dreads, don't cut the hair around it. So those are my 5 points over just different ways that you can, naturally maintain your hair. Like stuff you can do just every day and just maintain your hair and help it grow and grow faster. Let me know if these tips work for you guys. I hope that they do. Let me know, if you don't feel like it's true or anything like that. It's worked for me. I've done everything that I've said in this video, and I'm here today. So yeah, see you guys later on my later videos, and peace out.